Hello, hello. Hi. Let's see. Can you hear me okay? And why is it on this camera? Hmm. All right, so when I started it, it was on the other camera. Can you guys hear me okay? Perfect. I'm trying to figure out how to switch the camera because when I started the stream, it was on the camera that was facing the toys, and now it's on the camera facing me. What's this do? Nope, not that. Yeah, I'm trying to flip the camera, Sofo. It was on the other camera originally. Let me try the editing here. Category, thumbnail. You gotta go sign into your music lessons, bub.
Yeah, I know. I already am.
Oh no.
If I had experience.
All right, well, apparently the camera I was supposed to be using, it doesn't want to run. So, we're just going to do this a little differently then. All right. We'll just move the package to the front of the computer then. All right, so the come on, you unplug. Okay, so the package is, easy to open. It has 10 boxes in there, which is 5 more than is needed for the set. So I'm imagining it's actually 2 complete sets, which exactly is what it is. So these are all just like little model kits. And actually, I got this for a really good price with it being 2 complete sets. Usually one set is $60. I got 2 complete sets for $70. So I'll take it. It means I have one to goof around with later. But they're just little boxes. And the boxes themselves, one of the first 4 boxes will end up with a toy about that size. And the other box will end up with one about that size. But yeah, these are kind of fun. You don't see them too often in the States anymore. They used to sell them a lot in model shops, I found. Even with like US licensing and all that kind of stuff, they'd be just like those little like robots and stuff like that you'd have like wind up motors and stuff in. But unfortunately, I can't find those too often anymore, which is kind of nice because they're actually price wise there would be about $10 a box nowadays. You might find something like that in like the Kinder Toys, which is the chocolate with the tiny little toy in it. But it's just just a couple little model parts. And to save on paper, the instructions are actually in the box, literally. So I'll show you that in a sec. But they're called candy toys in Japan because they come with this hard candy, which is actually tasty. It shouldn't be. It tastes just like sweet sugar, but you got to take what you can get sometimes. But yeah, so the boxes, they just open on a perforation along the bottom. And then when you rip them open, or in my case, I cheat and I cut it so I don't rip the instructions at all, it'll open up actually pretty easily. And then the instructions are all just printed on the box itself. So, like I said, this is actually more or less me testing, trying to figure out where I'm going to have problems when I decide to live stream building the Ecto 1, which is going to be about that long from what I measured out, and then made space on my mantle so I could fit it up there. But yeah, it was a very awesome deal, Harpy. When I saw 10 on the box, I was kind of confused because normally it's about 60 to 70 when I order them online from, there's two sellers I usually use, which is Kazu, which is a individual, or I use AmiAmi, which is a import site. So I saw 78. I'm like, oh, that's great, because usually the last of the Mini Plus sets are hard to find and really expensive to get them imported for some reason. And so I thought 78 sounded about right for the set of 5. And ended up being 2 sets of 5. So I'm going to definitely take that. And I'm not sure what I'm going to do with the other 5 yet. I might give them to Kiddo for her to play around with. Okay. So we'll see. I might see how easy it is to paint these kind of sets, because I've goofed around with it in the past, and it's hit or miss with these little ones. But yeah, like I said, they have the smaller ones, which they have 3 modes, each of the things, of course. So you have stone modes, and then the stones, will open up into like vehicles. Like this one here is a cement truck. The barrel turns. And then what else it can do is, if you flip it back to basically the stone mode, you can, on this one at least, it turns into a, if I can get it, there we go. It turns into a gun. So they all have, how long does it take to put these together? It depends. Some of them are a little more intense than others, in a sense, in the fact that it'll be like Smoke Gion, which is this guy here, which is one of the bigger stones. And he turns into, for his vehicle mode, he turns into a train. And there was a lot more joints on this one, so it takes longer to you put them together, due to the fact that you have to put all the joints on, connect them up, that kind of stuff. But so one like Smoke here will probably take me about 45 minutes. He's got a little tail. Take me about 45 minutes to do. The ones like this, if they're really simple, like this guy was actually really simple, it takes me about 10 minutes at most for these little ones. The longest part is actually removing them from the screws they're on. Because, you can just pop them off. They're made to just come off real easy. You can just literally just pop it off. It's not like your more in-depth models where you have to like clip them off. But what I usually end up doing is, as I'm making them, I like to take a moment or two and just go through and make sure that there's no flashing left on them, so that the pieces slide smoother and it just looks a little nicer. So that just involves me going through and looking like on this one of the connection points was up here. I don't know how well you can see that, mostly because my light is washing it all out and the camera's not that great apparently. But there is just a tiny little bit of flashing, which is basically where the piece connects to the sprue. And you'll sometimes see it on like just plastic toys in general, where the piece that connects up to where it was molded, injected, and such from will leave like just that little bit behind, and that's flashing. And so what I do is I take my X-Acto, and as you can see, I actually remove some flashing already, and I just shave off the flashing. And this one has, let me see here, 1, 2, 3 steps with little tiny steps in the middle of them. So this one would probably be about a 10-minute build. It's not too in-depth. And then you have stickers, because of course you have stickers. Every great toy has stickers, right? But yeah, so like I said, something like this is a little bit longer. This guy is actually kind of fun. He is a T-Rex train. Let me see here. And so that's his vehicle mode, because they all have, like I said, they have a stone mode, and they have, come on, you. There we go. Yeah, it has to pop. They have vehicle mode, and then his robot mode is actually basically Godzilla. So let's see here. Grateful Pheonix is going to be made up of Habyun and I can't remember the other guy's name now. But Habyun is going to be a giant gold brick. He's going to be the large stone. Habyun turns into a condor or a cargo jet, actually. And the cargo jet is made so that the first 5 Mashin Sentai vehicles, which are red, blue, pink, yellow, red, blue, pink, yellow, and green. And red's is Machine Fire, just a little fire truck. Blue is a jet, actually. So this is blue here. Which actually should probably show you me turning. So blue turns into a jet for his vehicle mode, and it's kind of funny because the first 5 stones that combine into their mech, which is, this is yellow. Let's see. So this is Machine Jetter. You got Machine Fire. I like the name of this one, Machine Shovelo, because it's a yellow shovel. So he's Machine Shovelo. And then you just pull out his steam shovel part here, and then you can just swing them around. And there you go. So what'll happen is they will all basically hitch a ride on the jet mode for Habyun. So Pink's is Machine Helio, I believe, and it's, as you can probably guess from the name, a little pink helicopter. And then last is blue, or no, sorry, last is green. And I like greens on the show because on the show, it's Machine Mach is what you would call it in the US. But on the show in Japan, because they when you say English words in Japan, there's usually a little bit of same thing. Like when you say, foreign words with someone who speaks mainly English, there's usually a weird accent on it. So every time they call this one, they call them for Machine Maka, which is hilarious to hear to me. But it opens up into just a little race car. So the transformations for these things are pretty similar to the full-size toy, which are the DX toys. And these are mini Pla, which, as the name implies, they are mini. So like with the machine, so for this one, swing around his crane, and when you lift it up, that's the body, and then you can just flip up his feet, separate them, and bring down his arm. And that's the main body for that part. And then we'll just make Land Mage real quick. So with Machine Shovelo, you just flip this back around so it's like that. And when you connect it up, you'll notice that the white all kind of makes a design there. So we got that. Machine mock. You're going to snap it in half. Just like that. And then there's a peg. It's going to pop on top. So you have the little head. Oh, sorry, that's not the right head. I forgot. That swings in. So you've got the little head there. And what I like about these mini Pla is, unlike the full-size toys, where literally the only articulation the full-size DX toys have are, that's it. Legs move and arms move up. There's no real motion on these. But what happens with the mini Pla is they have what they call action mode. And it's so, there we go. So we'll remove the head, and it comes with this head you put together. And that's just going to plug in. Thank you, Navy. I appreciate that, but I would have laughed anyways. So now he's got, movement. The next thing you can do is, with these ones, there is me popping the arm off. There's elbow joints on this guy, and you can actually turn this piece to make it a little more, dynamic poses or whatever. You can, I'll get you next time, gadget kind of deal. And so you have the posability there, which is nice about these sets. He does have a built-in weapon, which, as a fire truck, he's got basically a water cannon here. Let me just, come on, you slide. There we go. So he gets his little gun. This is Kirameiger land mage is what they call it. All right. Now the only downside to the mini Pla, which I can live with, seeing as it's more posable and I can pose them up on my shelf and all that kind of stuff more than the DX ones, is parts can pop off. But the upside is, unlike with the DX one, where if a part pops off, you might have just broken it. Chances are it's not broke, it's just got to go back on. So so that's basically it for Land Mage, like the big things for that. But the other things you can do is he has got these hip skirts, which are the back wheels. When you remove them, you can pull out a little ball peg on his hip. And on there, at the bottom, right there, is a little point where you can hook it on, which now gives you the ability to do side steps and all that kind of stuff. And then the other thing that they do for the action poses is, if you remove the bottom of the foot, there is, in the leg portion, a peg, and it plugs into the foot in the hole right there. And now he's got some ankle movement, and his foot moves a little better. And it actually also makes him taller. So that's the nice thing about the DX, is they have what they call action or battle posing or whatever. And then the other two, which normally you just plug them on or attach them to the first mech to, finish up for power ranges, all that kind of stuff, is what's kind of nice is, if you take this, we're going to rotate it around so that the blades are facing with the half circle up. And you can kind of just wiggle the head up. Can't really see it yet, but that's because what we're going to do is we're going to open up her tail, lift up the head, and then you're going to take that whole section with the head, and that flips up to like that. And then you take blue here, and you're going to take the nose back. You can separate the legs, put the wings back a little bit, and then Pink actually just kind of plops right on top. Let's see here. Yeah, like so. And this is Sky Mage. I haven't watched too many of the episodes, but the one episode I do remember seeing was the very first one where they, of course, introduced all the Rangers, all that kind of stuff. And Sky Mage was the first robot they introduced, and they used her to rescue some kids trapped in a burning building. So to actually make Kirameiger, what you do in the toy, the full-size version, is this actually becomes a sword. So we're going to flip the nose back up. Oh yeah, and this has knees, which is kind of fun. So you flip the nose up. There is, in one of the legs, a handle, so you swing that around. Plug that back together. You fold the wings together. And then if you grab the nose on the sides and you pull up, you get the blade. So that's the sword, which works for Blue, actually, because Blue is supposed to be a fencer in the show. So we're just going to basically reverse what we did here with Pink. So we're going to do that, put the head back up, collapse it down, pull that up, and then the helicopter blades we're going to split to a V. And they are going to, there's tiny, tiny little divot there that fits over the tail section. So we get that. And come on, you. There we go. So you get a V like this. And I'm not even going to show you the crappy head because it really is just... And this is the head you would replace the other one with, which is nice. It's got all the sparkles on it. So we're going to put that on the body. And then Pink just goes on the chest. And you throw Blue in the hand. And that's their first mech's full combined form. Hey, Dad, how you doing? So they're nothing, it's silly fun for me. And then you have, of course, Smoke. Remove the head, remove the tail. And this is actually his... If I'm going to do he has two modes, actually, too, as a robot. He's got the evil version, which is what I'm going to do. And he's got a good version because in the show, Smoke was originally a good guy way back in the past or whatever. And the major bad guy steals Smoke's gem and transforms him into a bad guy. But when he was a good guy, he was... Cool King Z or something like that it was called. It was ridiculous. But so anyways, Smoke did come with nothing like two major, but in a later set, they released these nifty legs. But basically, if you just want to transform them normally, swing those around, and then his arms you're going to swing around to like that, and then that opens. Still have the candy taste in my mouth. So now he's got hands. His tail and head have posts and pegs, and they just connect together like that. And then we're going to swing that down. And that just connects to the body, right at that point there. Like so. And that's Smoke in his boring dino mode. So to make him look better, we're going to remove the legs and attach these nice legs at a higher point too, up higher. So that's the beginning of the battle mode for him. Or, yeah, I think they call them battle modes. There are two openings here. So the top one is the one that it's normally in, and we're going to put it down to the bottom one, which shifts the arm up on the body and makes it look a little more natural. As natural as a giant T-Rex trained dinosaur can look. So we got that. The next thing you can do is if you take the head and you pull it forward, it can now turn on that point there, and it has a little more motion. The next thing you can do is take the tail and extend that just a little bit. And so now he's all posable. So he's the first bad guy mech I have out of these mini pull, because usually they just release good guys. Except for the Q Rangers had a bad guy one, but I can't get my hands on it because it is extremely expensive for just that part. The 5 boxes for that, there was 2 that turned into a little line that transforms into a bazooka for the mech, for the good guys. And then there was 3 that was a bad guy, which was a space station that turned into a monster. And the 2 lions are $15 for the 2 of them. And the 3 bad guys, because normally people wouldn't sell them separate because you use the bad guys for troop building too. Because there was plenty of those on the show. The 3 bad guys on their own were, I think I saw them for $50 last time I went looking for them. And I'm not spending $50 for 3 boxes. All right, so like I said, the Smoke had his cool King version. And later on, the good guys ended up finding a new train for themselves, which was a snake shark train thing, which is this white one here. And so it's got a little jet engine on the back. And to finish it up, we're just going to grab this part and flip that up. And that's its vehicle mode there. This is actually used in a bunch of different ways on the show. It does end up becoming a mech eventually on the show when it combines with these 2 stones. Oh, backwards. These 2 stones actually become a train on their own as well, and are what are used to turn Smoke June into a good guy Cool King. And basically what happens is it opens up. As you can see, it has a head, and basically they kind of take over Smoke until the bad guy gets him back. So this, like I said, has a couple of different ways they use it originally, but they start off by using it as like a spear, like so. These are kind of tough for me to pull out since I clipped all my nails. But this here, I can't get it to pull out without... Let me see here. Maybe I can be smart and use tools like the monkey I am. There we go. That pulls out, and you give it... And they hold it by that. And it's... Here, we'll scale it with the guy that usually holds it. That is his special weapon. So usually they end up holding it like this on the show even. So you've got that, and then you can take off the top, and if you pull this one down now, like so, this is used as a bazooka. So we're just going to turn it back into its stone mode real quick. You can kind of see, hey, look, those are feet. The other weapon is they hold this via this peg right here. And they I don't know, they punch them with it basically. And then you have the back end, which is the rocket, which you can probably guess that it's used as a rocket launcher. Another nice thing I forgot to show, but you can actually make the train longer by connecting the rocket to the other train. So, robot mode for this. We'll separate the feet. We're going to take this train, separate this. You open this part here, which is the bottom portion. You got a little waist that goes on like so. You're going to take and open up this portion here, and he just plugs on like so. All right, so tiny head, right? We're going to fix that in a bit. It's got the first arm and his other arm. And there is actually, it's hard to see, but there is actually a hand on the other arm. So it's not just like a spear arm. So on this arm is a mask, which if you take it off, which you're supposed to, you put it in front of his head. And this is basically if you want the DX version in a mini form. But like I said, like the other ones, it has like a battle gimmick. So you remove the mask in the face, and you have that face, and that just plugs on like so. So, you know, Cool King Zubiyun or something like that, I think is what he's called. This is the normal head, before I forget, for Cool King when he's just with smoke. He is, as you can probably tell, influenced by America. He's supposed to be like how, you know, the Japanese kind of view Americans in a sense. They do that actually a lot on the... I keep pulling off the arm. Sorry, one sec. Come on. What's going on? They actually... what the heck? Why is this not pulling up? So it's supposed to pull up, but it is stuck in there. I'll take it apart later to fix it. So that piece there is actually on a slider, as you can see, and it's not sliding. So I'll just take this piece apart a little later and loosen up the posts that make it slide, but I should be able to do it with the other arm at least. There we go. So that's supposed to be what happens. It's supposed to make it so that you can have an elbow. So yeah, a lot of times on the Super Sentai show, especially with the fact that, you know, the US has become a big consumer of Power Rangers, which is, you know, Super Sentai basically. They have, every few seasons they have something that's kind of supposed to be like the American on it. For the last one I can recall offhand was, what do we call it in the States? Dino Thunder Special or something like that. I can't remember exactly what we called it in the States, but the American was a big fat guy. But he was also like, basically they were making fun of the fact that Americans are usually heavy, but they also made him one of the nicest characters and he was one of the first ones to laugh and make jokes, kind of. It was like, so like, yeah, he's heavy, but he's got a really good heart is basically what it was. And he ends up sacrificing himself to give the other Rangers some power that they needed, because he's already kind of a ghost. So he makes it so that he can't be revived at all, and he sacrifices himself to give the Rangers the power they need. So it was kind of interesting to see how like the Japanese view the US, because yeah, it's kind of like the media take on it, but it's an interesting take that they view us as a lot of times overweight, but generally good-natured and willing to give to help somebody else, which I thought was very nice. But anyways, to finish off his battle mode, you would flip that up, which gives him now a knee. And then you can actually pull his feet down so that he has ankle pivots. And the last guy, I'll set you over there, that I have that's already built is Gigant Driller, which is the only one that's not a stone. I wonder why he's called Giant Drill. He does have a stone, though, because they all are supposed to be powered by the stones, but instead of the stone turning into the mech, it literally just powers this one. And that's his stone. In the show, what would happen is the crane grabs the stone, right? So you can actually kind of imitate it if it'll work for me. And he picks it up, and he just kind of drops it in there, which this arm is actually able to do very well. So you pop the stone in, and on the DX version, it's one of the ones that has lights and sound, so when you would push this down, it would light up. So you pop the stone in, lift up this arm, and then you turn it, so that's facing you. This piece comes down, separate it, and it's his feet. And then for his other arm, we're just going to take this, and it should just swing past. There he goes. And it just swings past that. Come on, you cooperate. Turn that. And there you go. And then this one, you just bring back down. And this is just supposed to come up like that. And then the stone has that head part. And to finish it off, you flip up his mask. And that's Gigant Driller. His battle mode is not so as impressive as the others. His battle mode is basically remove the mask and remove the head. Maybe. Come on, you. There it goes. And then you have a head that has the mask that will move with it. And you just pop that back on to the crystal there. And that's that. Because he already has knees. Unlike, I thought for sure there'd be other things he could do because this piece is on a pivot too. So I thought for sure, they're going to have like something that'll sit on here to make him a super robot. But he is actually meant to hold specifically two of the other vehicles, which are the rest of the vehicles, except for the ones that I have here in the boxes, become, like I said, weapons. He gets the cement mixer. And where are you at? And this guy here. This one, if we pull that out and you push this down, you push that back in, garbage truck. The garbage truck is actually my favorite vehicle. Why? Because it turns into something ridiculous. Let me see here. So there is a handle that flips out, and you turn that just a little bit like that. Pull the back end back down, and if you lift the gate, it's a vacuum cleaner. It turns into a vacuum cleaner as his other weapon. So, and then it just plugs into the claw, which actually was upside down. There's a post right there that it sits on. And then the cannon, unlike the DX version, this one you can switch the top claw so it's facing out like that. The DX version, it only ever hangs down. So what's nice is on the mini claw, you flip that up and you turn the cement mixer back into a cannon. And just like on the show, if you wanted to, you could have the other claw holding the cannon. Maybe. Come on, you. There we go. So you just I'm not going to play with that too much there. The other way you can do it is if you put the claw back down, like the DX version, you just pop it on that. Or you could even pop it on here, which is actually where they tell you to pop it on the DX version. But that's actually also meant for, you can, in this show, the shovel connects on that side for a little bit. And then, let's see, we'll pull out the other vehicles real quick here, because they're all kinds of fun, I think. All right. So, I've got another blue stone. This one turns into, let's see here. There we go. It turns into a little car carrier. So you put like the other stones on there to transport them. And then if you pop this back up and you clamp that down, there's a handle in the back. And it becomes a shield for the guys to use. You've got this one, which is the easiest to turn into a vehicle and weapon. We're going to pull up this part here just a little bit and flip that out as a steamroller. For its weapon mode, we're going to put that back down. Take this portion here, open it up, and now it's a... I call it a hammer. On the show, it's actually a roller. He just rolls people with it. But I like to use it as a hammer because hammers are just a lot more fun, I think. And the last one is this one here. So we're going to flip this around. We're going to pull out this end here. Push this down and then take this down all the way. And it is a forklift. Its weapon mode is basically just like the other vehicle that's similar. You're going to just basically turn it back into a stone. And when you pull, come on, you. There you go. Pull out the handle. And it is a fork weapon. Now, this one has got a battle feature like the guys do. When you take this piece off, you have another piece you can put on. Here's the piece you put on. Here's the piece you took off. So this one just clips on there and, you know, makes it a little more terrifying, I guess. But yeah, I love the ridiculous nature of a lot of these kind of things that Super Sentai does. Because who really is going to use a rolling pin as a weapon? I mean, and they're supposed to be like a superhero squad. I like the ridiculousness of it. I do have the other set coming, but I actually have right here since I usually display them together when I have them displayed. So this is Kiramei Red, the leader. They're Kiramei Changers, which are what they used to, you know, Japan they call it Henshin, US we call it morphing, but Henshin just basically means transforming. Are these here. There we go. And they're basically wheels that they spin. They have a call function, transforming function, call your vehicle, and then combine function for the vehicles. What I liked about them is, so he drives the red vehicle, of course, and if you look, he's got basically a road across his chest. And then, let me see here, Pink has a plane, so Pink, who is the pilot of the helicopter, has on across her chest, instead of a road, you've got kind of like a air trail going behind the crystal that's supposed to represent her vehicle. Oh, the other nice thing about these guys that I thought was kind of cool. I'm just going to pull this one up so I'm not flashing toy boobs at everyone. The helmets and all that have the gems on them and the nice foil sticker, and then the shoulder pads are, let's see here if you can see it. If you look, they've got kind of like a gem pattern molded into them before you put the stickers on. Hey, Torn. And then we've got Blue, who pilots the jets, and they also all have different helmets, like normal. He's got the Airstream, and he's got like a pilot's goggles kind of thing going on. Green is the driver of the race car. I believe she's, let's see here. So in the show, if I remember correctly, he's a high school student who wants to be an artist, or he's a college artist student. I can't remember which. Uh, Blue is a Olympic fencer. Pink is a nurse or a doctor. I can't remember, but let me see here. Her helmet is kind of, it almost looks like she has headlights on her head. I don't know. Green is she's the high school student. So red is a college student. Green is a high school track star who's supposed to be like, up and coming Olympic hopeful or whatever. And then yellow works in construction. He's like they pick on him the most in the show. He ends up with the shovel vehicle, and when he complains about it, they basically say it just matches what he does. But he's got, I kind of like his helmet the best, actually. I don't know. I just like the visor and how the gem is. So I've got the other set. Those are Yodo action figures. I've got the other set. It's supposed to come in another so weeks, which would be like Silver, who's the last of the Rangers. The main bad guy, who's the one that uses smoke, and then I guess it's got like a troop builder guy in there. I don't know. I was just after Silver more than anyone else. But yeah, so that's basically it. Thank you for coming and hanging out and letting me kind of figure out how to run this when I go to do the Ecto 1 here. I really appreciate you guys. I'll probably see you all in Discord in a minute since that's where everyone's from. So thanks for coming and hanging out. See you guys later.